If your horse is hard in the bit, or if you want a soft and responsive horse that is safe to ride, there are 3 common pitfalls that you must avoid that I have seen time and time again. Because making horses soft and responsive and safe to ride is actually very easy. But it's all so many common mistakes out there that are making horse riding more dangerous than it needs to be, and it's also making horses stiff and therefore hard in the bit. So this is a very common problem. So I'm going to start out with one of the biggest mistakes that I have seen time and time again. That is very, very easy to fall for, and that is to use a sharper bit. So if a horse is hard in the bit, difficult to stop, or we find the horse, kind of unsafe to ride, we tend to then search for technical solutions, thinking that, oh, if I only have a sharper bit, then my horse is going to listen to me. And this is actually very dangerous, because if a horse is hard in the bit, that's a sign that you actually need to use less pressure and less force when training the horse and making sure your horse understands the rein signal and responds to the rein aid with softness. And putting on a sharper bit and then maybe even pulling on the horse is going to inflict pain on the horse, which very often then leads to the horse becoming even stiffer and even more dangerous to ride. So to me, it's actually not so surprising that horse riding now is considered more dangerous than riding a motorbike. It's considered the most dangerous sport in the world. And I think this is the number one reason. People get into trouble with their horses become stiff in the bit, difficult to stop, and they start buying sharper bits or tie-ins or other gadgets, thinking that's going to make it safer to ride the horse, while the exact opposite is the case. So let me know in the comments below if you also have found this to be true. Just reply, yes, I agree, because I sometimes feel like I'm the only one, because I see this mistake everywhere. Yep. So, mistake number 2, that is also very common, is to use more pressure. If we feel that our horse isn't safe to ride and is hard in the bit and is not soft and responsive like we want the horse to be, we tend to then use more pressure to see if the horse will listen. And this has a tendency to also have the opposite effect, because if we use more pressure, the horse is going to become even more upset. And the other thing that more pressure, especially on the reins, is going to ruin is the horse's softness and feel, because our timing of the release is going to become wrong when we use more pressure. So let me show you this so that you understand it. Because if we are pulling on the reins with lots of pressure, like this, we are pulling, not just picking up the rein, but really pulling. And the horse actually responds to our pulling by becoming softer and turning the head. We are going to keep on pulling after the horse has done the right thing, which is becoming softer and, turn the head. And since we are then, pulling while the horse is doing the right thing, the release becomes wrong. And horses, they don't learn from the pressure. They learn from the release. And by using more pressure, the timing of the release becomes wrong. And then the horse isn't going to learn how to become soft. So this is a common mistake that, I see it with lead ropes, and I see it with reins, and I see it everywhere. Okay, the horse isn't listening, just add on the pressure. And then we lose the timing of the release, which after all is the most important thing. Because when you think of it, if we are training a young horse that doesn't know anything, we could just as easily teach them to go faster when we pick up the reins and teach them to stop when we give leg aid. Horses aren't born with knowing how to respond to the rein aid and the leg aid, but they learn it from the release. So let's say we're training a young horse that doesn't know the leg aid, and we give leg aid and the horse goes backwards. And when the horse goes backwards, we stop giving leg aid because we become confused and go like, oh my God, why is the horse going backwards? And we stop giving leg aid. We have then taught the horse that leg aid means go backwards. And it's the same with the rein aid. If we are pulling on the reins and we then don't have the right release, we might as well teach our horse to go against the bit as to become soft in the bit, because we are not able to release on the horse doing the right thing, which is what they learn from. And they learn this very fast. So if we do something 3 times and time the release wrong 3 times, that horse has just learned the wrong thing. So horses are not stiff in the bit because they are naughty and they want to, upset us, or they, do the wrong thing. They are usually stiff in the bit and hard in the bit because they have learned it from wrong timing of the release, which comes from too much pressure. Hope this makes sense. Let me know in the comments below if you have seen this as well. Maybe even tried it and found out that this is definitely not the way to succeed with making a horse soft and responsive. And then the third thing, which I see quite a lot, and I think this is almost like an instinctive human behavior when we feel that a horse is rushy and stiff and difficult to control, is that then we pull on 2 reins. So if a horse starts spooking or bucking or bolting or whatever, we just grab both reins and we pull on them. And this is a huge mistake that tends to escalate the situation very quickly. Because if we're pulling on 2 reins, we are trapping the horse, and horses are flight animals and they need a way out. So they might have started with the spook because of something in the environment, but now it escalates because we are then trapping them and making them even more scared. And the second thing that makes this dangerous is that horses are very capable of going against 2 reins. So if the horse is bolting or bucking or rearing or whatever happens, they can easily go against the pressure of 2 reins. And it tends to also escalate the situation. So what I try to teach myself and my kids and my horses is to, if you feel your horse is tensing up and becoming a bit worried and maybe a bit stiff and unfocused, pick up on 1 rein and make the horse soft again. Don't pick up on 2 reins and make the horse even more anxious. And this is also because it's harder for the horse to go against 1 rein. And it's also easier for us to then use 1 rein and get the horse soft in the body and cross over behind, which makes them soft also in the mouth. Because, and this might be shocking, that horses, they aren't hard in the mouth to begin with. We experience them as hard in the mouth or strong in the bit or whatever. We experience this as some kind of mouth problem and the horse going against with the mouth. But it's actually the horse is stiff in the body. So that's how we actually can solve horses being hard in the mouth, is by softening their body. And we don't soften their body by pulling on 2 reins or teaching the horse to stop with 2 reins or back them up or anything that's involving 2 reins isn't going to make the horse softer. It's only going to make it easier for the horse to go against, and it's probably also going to make the horse even more tense, because then in addition to the environment, which might make the horse anxious, the rider is also making the horse anxious. Versus picking up on one rein and getting a bend in the horse's body and get the horse to cross over behind is going to empty worry in the horse, and it's also going to soften the horse. And if we do this, we can have amazing results with a horse who is hard in the bit in just a few sessions. Yes. So let me know in the comments below if you have tried this. I am, of course, talking about the bend to stop, which every horse and rider should know. I think then the amount of riding accidents would drastically go down if all riders instinctively would empty worry in their horses instead of instinctively grabbing two reins and holding on. But it requires a little bit of practice. Yes, and if you want to get started with this, we are actually for the first time ever offering a free training on how to succeed with the bend to stop, so that you have tools for making your horse soft and responsive and safe to ride. Yep, and if you want to join this free training and get amazing results like Andrea von Beethoven has gotten and Olivia Cunningham, she actually saved a horse from slaughter with this one simple exercise. So her horse went from bucking and bolting to being relaxed and confident and totally in sync with her. Because she then, instead of pulling on two reins and trying sharper bits or whatnot, she basically just did the bend to stop and were able to empty worry in her horse. So, which many riders had tried and given up on. Yes, and Els Venma, she experiences this as magic, actually. And I do too. And I'm actually a bit frustrated that not more riders and horses know this. So it's not necessarily something you learn in riding schools or when taking riding lessons. At least I didn't learn it that way. But now you can learn it on this free training. And if you comment soft below, then I will send you the link to the free training on DM. Or you can also go to ridelikeaviking.no/soft and you will also find the training there. And you get everything you need to succeed with teaching yourself and your horse the bend to stop. And you also get some tips on what equipment to use that is softer, not harsher. That definitely has made my horses and other people who have tried this solution much, much calmer, because it gives the horse freedom to actually empty worry in their jaws, because they can hold a lot of tension in their jaws. So I hope to see you there. Just comment soft below and you will get the link on DM, or you go to ridelikeaviking.no/soft and get everything you need to succeed with the bend to stop. And looking very much forward to seeing you there. And also thank you so much for joining this evening. And I must say, you being here shows me that you want the best for your horse. And I know that this tool is gonna help you just like it has helped me and hundreds of others riders succeed with their horse. So thank you so much for joining this evening and hope to see you there. Bye for now.